Imagine a world where stealthy unmanned drones soar through the skies, executing complex missions without a pilot on board. From its autonomous carrier landings to its potential as a combat game-changer, the X-47B's story is one of ambition, innovation, and unexpected twists. Join us as we uncover the secrets of this cutting-edge drone. Say hello to the X-47B, a great example of American innovation and a sign of what the future holds for military aircraft. This stealth drone, which cost an unbelievable $1.5 billion, was designed by the U.S. Navy and is set to change how naval power is projected. The X-47B was created to be a silent, armed, and carrier-launched attack drone that could handle the toughest offensive tasks. Which ones? Enemy air defenses, sea ships, and even fighter planes from other countries. There was more to this amazing drone than just that, though. It was also supposed to be able to refuel from a ship, which would have added to its already impressive list of abilities. This drone was part of the ambitious Unmanned Carrier-Launched Airborne Surveillance and Strike U-Class program. It was built on Northrop Grumman's X-47B demonstrator plane. The X-47B made history when it landed on an aircraft carrier, showing a big step forward in technology for unmanned planes. The U-Class program, on the other hand, ended too soon after a lot of discussion and planning. The Navy changed its focus and worked on making the MQ-25 Stingray, a refueler drone that is less stealthy and doesn't carry weapons. People did notice this choice. On March 18, 2021, several well-known members of Congress pushed for the return of a U-Class-like function. The X-47B was taken out of service in April 2015, but its two prototypes, Salty Dog 501 and Salty Dog 502, will always be remembered. The most advanced progress had been made in this area, and these drones were the pinnacle of unmanned combat aerial systems. The X-47B has become an icon because of how sleek, silent, and future-looking it is. It doesn't have a tail anymore. But why did such a creative program start, and why did the Salty Dog quit before it was time? Northrop Grumman's big plan to build a small proof-of-concept demonstrator called the X-47A Pegasus was the start of the trip. Interestingly, the project was self-funded, which was a brave move that made it possible for the X-47B to be made. In April 2003, the X-47A took its one and only flight, which was a turning point in the history of drones. The X-47B, a more advanced and larger model made for naval activities, was made possible by this success. As military drones like the MQ-1 Predator and MQ-9 Reapers show their worth in Afghanistan and Iraq over the course of 6 transformative years, Northrop Grumman began working on the X-47B project. During this time, the company was given a job to build 2 X-47B units. The project, which would cost almost $1.5 billion by 2015, fit perfectly with the changing needs of the U.S. Navy. One important requirement was that the drone be able to carry out long-range strike missions. This was because the Navy was shifting its focus to China, and there were growing worries about China's advanced anti-shipping technologies. The Navy needed a drone that could hit from far away, and that's exactly what the X-47B was made to do. The X-47B's design was similar to the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit. It had a body with blended wings and no vertical stabilizer. It has a sharp nose with an air opening for the Pratt & Whitney F100-220U turbofan engine, which is the same engine that is used in the F-16 Fighting Falcon. This 2-shaft afterburning turbofan gives the drone great speed and agility by producing up to 17,000 pounds of thrust. The X-47B is not a lightweight competitor. It has a wingspan of 62 feet, a length of 38 feet, and an empty weight of 14,000 pounds. It can take off with a maximum weight of 44,000 pounds. It rules the skies up to 40,000 feet high with a cruising speed of 685 miles per hour and an operating range of more than 2,100 nautical miles. The X-47B's flight tests, which began in 2011 and went on for more than 4 years, were a set of groundbreaking successes. It showed off a wide range of autonomous UAV capabilities, such as the ability to handle the deck, launch and recover drones, work seamlessly with manned planes, and receive fuel from manned tankers. When an X-47B arrived on the USS George H.W. Bush by itself, it was seen as a huge step forward in military drone technology. Carrier landings, which are typically hard for even the best pilots, were now possible with self-driving technology. In November 2013, the USS Theodore Roosevelt was the site of tests for the groundbreaking X-47B. During this important testing phase, the attention was on making sure that the UAV could be digitally integrated into the carrier's operations without any problems. It looked at how the drone team and the crew on the carrier coordinated and talked to each other during the important parts of launch, recovery, and flight. On the other hand, the X-47B was doomed to leave a bigger mark on history. It did something amazing on August 17, 2014. The drone took off and settled on the Theodore Roosevelt. This was the first time that both an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, and a manned aircraft, an FA-18 Hornet, worked together on a carrier. The launch process was a dance of accuracy and technological skill. The X-47B came first, then the Hornet. The X-47B did a touch-and-go maneuver to show how agile it was. Then it landed and taxied away, making room for the Hornet's return. This operation wasn't just a show. It met all test goals and was the fifth successful test period at sea for the X-47B. Over the George H.W. Bush and Theodore Roosevelt bridges, the drone had already done 8 catapult launches, 30 touch-and-goes, and 7 stops. In addition to all the other firsts it did, the X-47B also did taxiing and deck handling at night, blending in perfectly with human Hornets every 90 seconds. In April 2015, the X-47B reached a new milestone when it refueled itself in the sky with an Omega Air KC-707 tanker off the coast of Maryland. This accomplishment meant that all of the main tasks that were set for the drone's display were finished. The X-47B successfully showed that a big drone could work with the carrier air wing. However, its trip also showed how hard it is to work in dangerous, changing environments, which is the Navy's ultimate goal for a combat drone that can be used from a carrier. The X-47B couldn't prove it could survive in hostile environments or find the best tasks for its technology without weapons or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) tests. In February 2016, the U.S. Navy made a major change when it decided to change the direction of the X-47B program. The X-47B was first planned to be a surveillance and strike aircraft, but it was later changed to a reconnaissance and aerial refueling drone with limited strike capability. This choice came about after a high-level review and reorganization of the Unmanned Carrier-Launched Airborne Surveillance and Strike U-Class project, which is no longer needed. This change led the Navy to start the Carrier-Based Aerial Refueling System (CBARS) program, a less bold competition to make a drone tanker that could be attached to a carrier. Northrop Grumman, the company that made the X-47B, unexpectedly decided not to take part in the competition, which went to Boeing. This came as a big surprise because at least one X-47B had already been fitted with the refueling pod in case the tender showed up. The amazing trip of the X-47B came to an end with this event. The cutting-edge drones were put away in Northrop Grumman's huge Plant 42 facility in Palmdale, California. There, they stand silently as a reminder of an exciting time in military aviation. Their retirement was a sad event because the X-47B never lived up to its promise to change naval fighting, making it seem like the Navy took a step back. But with the release of the MQ-25 Stingray, the tradition of creativity lives on. The Stingray is set to join the fleet in 2026 and will be used as an aerial refueling drone. This is a big step forward that will allow manned planes to do more. Even though this is a step forward, it might not live up to the high standards of people who love drone combat. As an important addition to naval powers, the MQ-25 Stingray takes a more cautious approach than the X-47B's original, more ambitious goals. The story of how the X-47B was changed into the Stingray shows how military technology and tactics are always changing. It shows how there's a balance between cutting-edge new ideas and real-world military needs. The X-47Bs are showing off a brave vision of the future while they are resting in Palmdale. This vision is still affecting the future of military aviation. So that is all the time we have today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon on your way out. See y'all next time.